So today's topic, percentage as fraction and decimals as percentage. So go ahead and copy down the topic. Basically what we're doing is we're changing percents into fractions and then also decimals into percents. Okay, write down today's date, which is 11/19. Okay, and example 1 tells us to express each percentage as a fraction in its simplest form. Can anybody tell me what does this mean? The hint, basically just write it as a fraction and simplify. Isabel?
So you would write like 5 over 100
Why would we write it over 100?
because percentages is out of 100.
We always start over 100. Good. And then what are we going to do?
You would simplify it so you could divide 100 by 5 and then 5 by 5.
And what would you get?
You would get 1/20th.
Very good. So our final answer would be 1/20th. We can use this method on every single one, no matter how challenging it is. You'll see the challenging ones in a minute here. Okay. Letter B says 8%. Someone walk me through it. Jana.
So it would be 8 over 100. And then to simplify, you could divide it by 2 first. So that would be 4 over 50.
Good.
And then divide that by 2 again, which would be 2 over 25.
Good. Okay. You could go straight from 8 over 100 divided by 4 and get the same answer in one less step. Okay. Go ahead and try letter C on your own. Raise your hand when you're done. Who has an answer for me? Kanji.
I got 39/50.
39 over 50 is correct. 78. 80 divided by 2 is 40, so 78 divided by 2 must be 39. Okay, good. Let's look at these other examples here. Okay, so for 224%, we're still going to put our percentage over 100. Now, who can give me a mixed number without reducing? Give me a mixed number for 224 over 100. Olivia?
124 over 100.
That would be 124 over 100. What's 224? Go ahead.
2.
2.
24 over 100.
Good. Thanks for sticking with that. Okay, and then I need someone to reduce this for me. Cormac.
You divide it by 2 halves and you get 2 and 12/50.
Okay, good. And then do it again.
You can divide that again by 2 halves and you get 2 and 6/25.
Good. Okay, so percentages greater than 100% are greater than 1. Percentages greater than 100% are greater than 1. Because 1 is 100%. All right, next one. Let's do this next one. 1.5% is going to be 1.5 over what, kids?
100.
Good. So, how can I, it's mathematically incorrect to have a decimal number inside a fraction. So what should we do, Emma?
1. It's 1 and 1/2 over 100.
Okay. That's still a mixed number inside a fraction. So how can we get rid of the decimal number? What can we do, Brian?
Look at 50 over 100.
That's going to be 150%. This is only 1.5%. It's less than 2%. What do you think, Mirza?
We could do 100 or 15 over 1,000.
And what did you do in order to get 15 over 1,000?
We times it by 10.
You could multiply by 10, and you would get 15 over 1,000. Now, Emma, I'm not sure if you were going to get to this when you got to 1.5 over 100. What could we, can anybody think of a different way we could get rid of the decimal?
We could multiply it by 2.
If you multiply by 2, it's going to take you to 3 over 200. And if you reduce 15 and 1,000 by 5 each, are you going to get the same answer? Yes. So you have 2 choices to get rid of a decimal inside of a fraction. Always multiplying by 10 will work. Okay? Or you can just find a way to get rid of it, like by doubling or tripling or whatever. Okay? All right, see if you can use that method, one of those 2 methods, and solve 0.5% on your own. Go to Ananya.
I multiplied it by 10,
Okay, so let's just drag these over here. Good.
and I got 50.
0.5 times 10 is only going to move your decimal place one spot.
At 5.
5 over.
1,000.
Okay, and if you reduce that,
I got 1 over 200.
good. How else could you do it if you didn't want to do the times 10, Sanjeev?
Well, I multiplied it by 2.
Times 2 times 2. And you would get 1 over 200. Okay, so times 2 is like a little shortcut. All right, very good. Let's take a look at, there's 2 ways that I want you to think about 0.8 as a percentage. Okay? First of all, the first way I want you to think about it, I'm going to write this on the right side, is how do we read 0.8, the decimal, as like the proper way with place values, Brian?
8 tenths.
Okay, so 0.8 equals 8 tenths. And who can convert that into a fraction out of 100, Isabel?
80 over 100.
And that equals what, kids?
80%.
Good. You can go from 8 tenths straight to 80%. I know that that's not the same. Okay, that's fine. I can follow your math thinking there. All right. Here's another way we can do it. And some might think this is a good shortcut. We can take 0.8, just like our unfriendly fractions, we are multiplying by 100%. If I multiply by 100%, if I multiply by 100, what happens with my decimal place? Michael H.
It moves over 3 spaces.
How many zeros do I have? How many zeros do I have? 2. 2. So it's going to only move over 2 spaces. That's exactly right. Which direction?
The right.
Good. So we can move the decimal 2 spaces to the right. Okay. So 0.8, moving it 2 spaces to the right, gives us, and we fill in with a 0, 80%. And this would be enough work right here in order to come up with an answer. That's fine. You could even do that in the problem and then just come up with an answer. Some kids like that, some kids like that. Some kids use both depending on the complexity of the problem. Okay? So, what I would like you to do is you and your table mate, I want you to see if you can get all 6 of these. All right? The shortcut we've already decided we can move the decimal spot place. But the first 3 are pretty easy. The second 3 are first 4 are easy. The last 2 are challenging. So, what did you get as an answer for letter A? You can give me the answer for letter A. How about Christopher?
I got 10%.
Okay, so we're going to move that decimal. We have 10%. Very good. 0.9, Jamie.
90%.
Good, 90%. 0.75, Ananya.
75%.
Good. How about 0.3, Emma?
30%.
If we move the decimal 2 spaces, we're going to get 3%. Oh, that's okay. 0.045. This is a little bit more challenging. What did you get, Michael H?
I got 4.5%.
4.5%. Which method is easier on that one? Moving the decimal or making it a fraction? What do you think, Olivia?
Moving the decimal.
Moving the decimal, right? Because if you make it a fraction, it's still doable. It's 45, what's that place value? Thousands. Okay, and we need it to be out of 100, so we'd have to divide by 10. And we would get 4.5 over 100, which is 4.5%. Okay, so obviously that's a long way, but it still works. Okay, how about letter F? Anybody have an answer for me, Katie?
22.5%.
Good. And we can do this by just moving the decimal, and it's fine to have a 0.5, right? You can have 1/2 or 0.5, but we can't have a repeating decimal. All right, last example. Let's go back real quick here. If we're multiplying by 100 to go from decimal to percent, what do you think we're going to do to go the opposite way, Isabel?
You would do it just like flip flop, so you would do 3 over 100.
Okay. instead of multiplying by 100, though, we're going to, what do you think? Divide by 100. And that means we're going to move the decimal what direction? Kids? Left 2 spaces. All right. Go ahead, see if you can do all 6 of these. Go. Nice. Okay, how about 3%? Who can give me the decimal for 3%? Michael M?
106.
Okay, I'd like a 0 in front of all decimal places that don't have a whole number. So 0.03 is correct. Thank you. The next one, 35%. What does that become, Marissa?
0.37.
Good. 40%. 40%, Jana.
0.4.
Good. I like how she simplified that. We could have 0.40, but that second 0 is an insignificant number. All right, how about 0.5%? This is 1/2 of 1%. Okay, Isabel.
Well, you would move the decimal over 2, so it would be 0.005.
Good. Still move the decimal over 2 spaces. Who wants 150%? How about Emma? 1.5. Anything greater than 100% is going to be greater than 1. That's correct. And what about 1,000%? Say it if you know it's a whole number.
10.
Very good. 10.